Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. It's Florida Cup Sunday at Tampa Bay Downs, the third of 3 DRF days at Tampa Bay. If you happen to be at the track, stop on by, spin the wheel, wins lots of prizes. Sign up for DRF Bets. You get a $150 sign-up bonus just for signing up. DRF.com/join. Promo code TV150. Lots of great stakes action at Tampa Bay for the Florida Breds on Sunday. We're going to take a look at race number 8. It's the EG Vodka Turf Classic. Mile and an eighth on the turf, $100,000 is the purse. Matt, the number 3 Galleon Mast is way the horse to beat, dropping down in class. This horse is the 3-2 morning line favored with a big figure edge, but I can see some handicappers looking at that most recent performance in the Grade 3 Canadian turf and saying, listen, he was the favorite, he got a great pace setup, he got a great trip following the winner, and he couldn't get it done. Maybe he's vulnerable at this additional distance.
Galleon Mast is an interesting runner just in general. You look at the form, you absolutely can't knock it. All he does is show up and run his races, go back, 6 starts, 7 starts. He's had nothing but first or second place finishes. I agree with you about the Canadian turf, but at the same time, I don't want to take anything away from the winner that day, Hoagie, who stretch out all of a sudden he turned into a different animal at 100 years old, however old he is at this point in his career. The interesting thing for me about a horse like Galleon Mast that always sticks in the back of my mind, David Fox has talked about how quirky this horse is, and he will pull himself up when he hits the front, and the ride needs to be timed perfectly. So you go 2 starts back to that Sunshine Millions turf, and I watched it initially and thought of Rad Ortiz. I'm sitting there going, you got to ride at some point. You got to ask him. But a lot of it had to do with just trying to time it absolutely perfectly. To me, a horse that's going to be odds on, I'm always terrified. You're telling me that he might pull himself up when he makes the front? I don't want to find out at 4 to 5.
That's a fair point. We know who's going to make the front coming out of the gate. It's likely the number 7 Expected Ruler, as we see from the Timeform U.S. pace projector. And I thought Expected Ruler ran great last time out, stretching all the way out from 5 furlongs to 1 mile and a 16th, prompting a fast pace, taking over the lead in mid-stretch, and just getting tired. Here's my one problem. The 1 mile and an eighth. He's going to have to go another 16th of a mile, and for most of his career, he's been a turf sprinter.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of an odd situation where this was his first time routing since his 2-year-old season, and he's 5 years old now. They've just kept him at those 5.5, 6 furlong distances. I'm hopeful that the pace projector is accurate because speed at Tampa Bay on the turf, all meet seems to have done very, very well. And if you don't think anyone is going to go and keep him honest early, we saw it earlier in the week with the Pletcher horse at Gulfstream. I don't know about the distance with him, but if you give him an inch, hopefully he could take a mile. Jesus Castanon's been in very good form as well.
We also have a positive formulator fact for Expected Ruler's trainer Derek Ryan. Over the past year, with older turf routers going second off the bench, he's winning 40% with over a $4 return on investment. Some things to like about the 7 Expected Ruler. I think the 6 second mate's a little bit dirtied up by circumstance in his last couple of starts. In the Sunshine Millions turf, Paco Lopez had him in a great tracking spot in the 2-path entering the turn, and the next thing you know, Paco, I think, got surprised by 2 horses brushing past him on the outside. The next thing you know, second mate was blind switched. He had to alter course far to the outside, and he still only got beat 3 lengths. Last time out in the Old Man Eloquent Stakes, he just had post 12. The jock had no recourse but to take back to last, come widest into the stretch. I think he's a little bit dirtied up, and his race 3 back over this course and distance was good.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that's the race that you want to use as sort of the barometer. 3 starts back where he was here off of a little bit of a layoff, ran into Scholar Athlete, who's a decent runner. He came back in one of his next 2 or 3 starts and earned a 93 buyer. So I think if you look at that race and say, does the 90 fit? Yes. Does the 116 Timeform US rating fit? Yes. And he clearly can get over this turf course. I agree with you. I think second mate's interesting.
Swagger Jagger couldn't step with Galleon, missed 2 starts back in the Sunshine Millions turf. His first start off the Michael Maker reclaim, but I thought he did some good things in that Old Man Eloquent Stakes because he made a long 4-wide bid all the way late from the back stretch to about the quarter pole before understandably flattening out. I think that race is going to get him ready for this one. He draws inside, he's got a little bit of tactical speed, and he's got Javier.
I think that's the most important piece. You get Javier aboard, but that tactical speed that you made mention of, if you don't think there's a lot of pace signed on, if there's a scenario where Swagger Jagger's sitting second or third, just a few lengths off of the pace setter, I think that's the way that he wins this race, that maybe he can upset the apple cart, because if he tries to kick with some of these other horses coming from too far out of it, I don't think his late finish is as good or as strong as a Galleon Mast or someone else's. If he's forwardly ridden, though, I think there's a real scenario where he can win.
Big formulator fact for a horse that just comes out of a weird race. The 5 Unbridled Holiday. Here's the stat for Pat Biancone over the past couple of years. Older last out winners on the turf are 6 for 9 with a $10.93 return on investment. Unbridled Holiday last time out was in a good position. The pace quickened up on the turn. He was completely outpaced, ended up widest, looked like he had no chance, and he still won. What do you make of that race?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many things that would lead you to believe that he should have run 6th or 7th or 6th out of a 6-horse field as opposed to actually getting the job done. I guess I'm a little bit torn because Timeform has the race a little bit slower than Beyer would. And even having said that, he's going to need to improve if he's going to win this race on both scales. Clearly,
the number 4 has clearly improved with the addition of Lasix and blinkers, but he is stepping up big time off of a maiden win.
Yeah, he is. You know, I thought about him for a moment. If you think there's a scenario where expected ruler goes and he can't sit the trip or he can't see out the mile on an 8th, then maybe perhaps clearly can take over this thing. The other interesting thing about a horse like this, you see the sort of differences between the Beyer speed figures and the Timeform US ratings. That most recent run on the Beyer scale, only a 74 when he broke his maiden. On Timeform, it's a 111, and a 111 actually gives him a puncher's chance in here.
7-time winner Gray Bow, the number 2, 15-1 on the morning line, is making his second start of the year. Passed a couple of tired horses, went in for 32,000 last time at Tampa Bay at 30-1. Might be up against it from a class and pace perspective.
Yeah, at this point, you kind of know what you're going to get out of him. Probably a mid or a high 70, and unfortunately for the connections, it's not fast enough.
Not really sure what to say about the number 8, De Bull, who's raced twice on the turf. The first time he was off slow, bucked, and was walked off the track. The second time he was pulled up and walked off the track.
Yeah, I'm going to treat him as a first-time turf starter. Unfortunately for him, he's going to face some decent horses. It's just kind of a tough spot.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the EG Vodka Turf Classic on the 3rd of 3 DRF days at Tampa Bay Downs on Sunday. I think Galleon Mast is just the best horse in this race. He's got the fig edge. I think he's going to handle this field. He's got to run down expected ruler. You're going with the curious pace play.
Yeah, I'll go with expected ruler over Galleon Mast. I agree with you. Galleon Mast is strictly the horse to beat, and he is the most talented horse in the race. There is just that thing sticking in the back of my mind. Boy, I don't want to find out as we're coming down in a pitched battle that all of a sudden he's going to make the front and then say, just kind of pull up, go into neutral, and then perhaps something else quirky happens. He's the most talented horse, no question about it. I want the horse to try to go catch him.
Matt's going to be saying stay there at about the 16th pole with expected ruler as he tries to navigate the mile in an 8th. He's going with the 7. I'll go 3-1-7-6 in the EG Vodka Turf Classic. Again, if you are betting Florida Cup Sunday from home, please consider DRF Bets. There's the deal. It's $150 when you sign up for a new account. DRF.com/join. Promo code TV150 and approximate post time 3:50 Eastern. Good luck.